Good morning. I am Shelley Negrani, a member of this congregation, and I am your worship associate today. Together with all of the people who have contributed to this online service, especially our video editor, Mark Sewell, I welcome you to Unitarian Universalist Metro Atlanta North, which we call UUMAN. UUMAN offers no creed or dogma, but we do believe in the inherent worth and dignity of all people and the interconnectedness of all creation. We have no claim on the truth. Many of us come to UUMAN because here we have the opportunity to engage in an open-minded and compassionate search for truth and meaning, being mindful of the love we hold for one another and the world in which we live. Whoever you are, wherever you are on your spiritual journey, wherever that journey began, whomever you love, you are welcome here. It is our tradition to hold a bread communion on the Sunday before Thanksgiving. Due to COVID, we have had to put that tradition on hold. In its place, some of our members are virtually sharing their food and their food stories with us. If you are visiting with us for the first time, a special welcome. Thank you so much for choosing to spend your Sunday morning with us. We invite you to fill out our online visitor form that you can access from the homepage of our website, UUMAN.org. Someone from our membership team will contact you. You're also invited to join us for virtual coffee and conversation after the service. The link for that gathering can be found on the homepage of our website as well. And one final website link announcement. Today at 11:30, we will be holding our congregational meeting. The link for that meeting can be found on the homepage of our website. We will be celebrating Chalaka this year, beginning on Monday, December 7th at 8 p.m. Chalaka is an invitation to spend a day with each of the 7 UU principles, reflecting on their meaning and doing a good deed focused on each one. Reverend Dave will start us off on Monday, December 7th. We will gather virtually to reflect on our first principle, the inherent worth and dignity of every person. Every evening that week, we will reflect on a different principle, always virtually and always at 8 o'clock. We hope that you will join us in this uniquely Unitarian Universalist holiday tradition. And now I invite you to take a breath. Feel the chair or couch supporting you.
It's nice out here.
It is. It really is. It's been beautiful weather. You know, it's such a relief that the election is over now.
I tell you, I was sweating. Yep. And, you know, it's been hard trying to figure out Thanksgiving with all this COVID stuff, and the kids, and they're all grown and married, and they got other families too.
But we finally settled that. We've got Saturday morning at 10:30 for Thanksgiving.
I'll be different.
Yeah.
But that's okay, because Sunday, we've got it all to ourselves.
Yeah, we can
Nothing to do.
We can just sit back and relax Sunday.
Yep, that'll be nice. Mid-November, got everything squared away.
Oh my goodness.
What?
Sunday is the congregational meeting.
No.
Yes, and I need to talk to Jennifer Philby about Earth Ministry goals.
Oh no, and I need to talk to Shelley about worship goals.
Oh,
I better get on the phone.
I am out of here.
Oh no, oh dear. What are we gonna do?
Good morning. As nature's wheel has turned its summer season to fall, we gather in the spirit of thanksgiving to celebrate the fruits of our harvest. Let us also celebrate the gifts and blessings that we are to each other. And on this day, may we bestow our gratitude and thankfulness upon one another as never before. Let us gather today to celebrate in deed, in word, in silence, and in song.
Let us light our chalice together. Love is a doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humankind in fellowship. Thus we promise to each other, thus we promise to each other.
Bamboo is a challenging vegetable. Yes, it's a vegetable. It's a weed. And it can grow very rapidly. It can double its size in a day. Imagine that. That's ridiculous. Imagine if you doubled in size in a day. Nothing would fit. When you're working with bamboo, it will stain your hands while you're working it. You might even break out in a rash. And you shouldn't eat it if it's not cooked just right, because it's actually poisonous. You have to cook it just right. Now, you can get bamboo at the supermarket. It's not poisonous. It's already been cooked correctly. It's usually pre-boiled and peeled. But buying it in the supermarket kind of takes the fun out of the immensity of cooking it. It's actually a spiritual experience to transform a poisonous weed into food. It's like trying to make food of a giant, hairy, elephant-like tusk. First, you have to pull off all the hairy outer covering. And then you have to cut and chop it all up. And you have to cut each part differently. You have to keep all the parts of the bamboo separate because they need to be cooked differently, the different parts. So you can fry it, you can boil it, you can cook it over a fire. And you can use different parts of the bamboo in soups, and stir-fries, and broths, or even stuffed bamboo shoots. But you can't eat it every day because it'll make you sick. Your body knows when it's had enough. It's kind of a dangerous plant. Many experiences in life seem like unpeeled bamboo, inedible, ridiculous, ugly, hard. Sometimes we have experiences, and maybe you've had experiences in life that seem ridiculous and hard. Going to school, virtually. Going to church, virtually. Seeing your friends, virtually. And like an average cook who might throw all these seemingly ridiculous and hard things away, you too could, quit school, I guess. Or you could not show up for religious education, or show up and turn your camera off. Or maybe even stop seeing your friends virtually. But a good cook knows how to turn even the most terrifying, skin-irritating vegetable into a delicacy. The more experience we have transforming poison into a meal, the more comfortable with difficult conversations, the more comfortable doing our homework, the more comfortable going to religious education, serving our church's mission, the more comfortable we'll be in those things. More comfortable we'll get with life's strange vegetables, difficult schoolmates, teammates, difficult friends, or even family members. And you'd learn to approach them like you would approach bamboo, with patient, gentle determination, and work with it step by step.
Now is the time in the service when the love that binds us together is spoken aloud. If you have a joy or a sorrow that you would like to share with the congregation, please enter it into the chat now. We have received the following. McPatty Langston is thinking of her mother, Mary McCarthy, on the 1-year anniversary of her passing this week. She was an earth angel and helped many people transition to their next life, being a nurse. Mark and Jane Sewell have a concern that Jane's sister, Amy Dennison, and her husband, Bruce Martin, have tested positive for COVID-19. Bruce is asymptomatic, but has some serious underlying conditions, while Amy is experiencing mild symptoms. They are quarantined at home in Cincinnati. Tanya Romaine has a sorrow. Her aunt lost her puppy, Hudson Papas, after a brief battle with cancer. He was very dear to Tanya, who thought of him as her first dog cousin. I would like to drop a pebble for those of us who are struggling with being separated from our loved ones during this holiday season. And I drop this final pebble for those joys and sorrows that remain tender and unspoken in our hearts. Let us hold one another in our thoughts with warmth and compassion until we meet again.
I recently, for the first time in my life, signed up to receive some locally grown organic farmers market vegetables. I receive them every other week. They're delivered by one of our members, actually, Catherine Burkhart. Now, the first week, the first delivery, I received, among other things, a bunch of sweet potatoes. And the second week, I received, among other things, a load of turnips. Now, sweet potatoes, I've had them before, but I realized that I've never actually cooked them myself. And turnips? I've never even eaten one in any way, shape, or form. And I cannot ever remember purchasing at any time in my life either sweet potatoes or turnips. I've never found myself saying, hey, I got a hankering for some turnips. That'll get me off the couch. Nope, never said that. And although I've been learning to cook over the last couple of years, sweet potatoes and turnips were another country for me. I knew what I was getting into when I signed up for farmers market vegetables. You get what the earth produces in season. And if you listen to the earth, you'll get what you need. I can hear Mother Earth saying, you'll get what you get and you're going to like it. Though actually, I don't think she cares whether I like it or not. So anyway, I decided to make a sweet potato and kale soup. But of course, I can't find a recipe for a sweet potato and kale soup, but I can find a recipe for potato and kale soup, so I substitute the sweet potatoes for the potatoes. So I peel and cube some sweet potatoes and throw them in a pot to boil. Well, how long do I boil them? So I look in my cookbook and it says, for best results, leave unpeeled sweet potatoes whole. If peeled and cut into chunks before boiling, they tend to become waterlogged. Wonderful, wonderful. My peeled and chunked sweet potatoes are in there getting waterlogged. Oh well. After cooking them, then into a pot of vegetable broth and herbs and lots of kale, I add the waterlogged sweet potatoes, substituted for the potatoes, and begin making the soup. How long do I cook it? I consult my cookbook. I always seem to consult it after, but I consult my cookbook and it says sweet potatoes don't have enough starch to behave the same way as regular potatoes. So they're not really interchangeable with potatoes unless you got some of both. Seriously? Seriously? That's two wrongs. Okay, but what if the sweet potatoes are waterlogged? Will that make a difference? Will it work then? Okay, this is turning out to be a small-scale disaster. Now for the turnips. Prior to last week, if you asked me to get some turnips at a store, I'd probably walk to the frozen foods section and begin milling around. Or maybe the bread aisle, but I wouldn't be looking for any turnips. I'd be looking for the low-fat, gluten-free turnips. Well, I found a recipe, and I made a turnip au gratin, loaded up with Gruyere cheese. Now, anything loaded up with that has to be good. And it did not disappoint. It was wonderful. The first time I'd ever eaten turnips, and I ate them all, and it was quickly gone. They were quickly gone. As for the soup with the waterlogged and incorrectly substituted sweet potatoes, to me, it was the best soup ever. And Tammy agreed. I proved that two wrongs actually can make a right. They were perfect. It was a soup that had a mildly, pleasantly sweet flavor. Well, Thanksgiving is upon us, and many of you will be cooking, yet likely cooking for far fewer people than maybe you normally would. And maybe perhaps this holiday meal won't feel too much like a holiday meal. It might just feel like every other meal with perhaps a few extra things. 2020 is winding down, and I likely won't get any argument or feel the need to explain myself to say that this year has not been a small scale, but a full-on disaster. Yet despite the disaster and some less than desirable ingredients, life can still taste sweet. And all these wrongs can still turn out all right. There are reasons for hope. There are reasons to be thankful. There are reasons to be grateful. There are reasons that can prove that life still can be very sweet. Some vaccines look promising. A dysfunctional president will be limited to just one term. I'm keeping my fingers crossed on that one, but I'm hopeful. We still have dogs and cats to keep us company, and they've loved spending so much time with us at home. We've learned some new technology. We get to see each other on Zoom and on Google Meet. We're blessed with beloved members who continue to make UUMAN special. We had a wonderful and fun service auction. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. So now I want you to take some time and type into the chat the things that give you hope, the things for which you are grateful, the things for which you are thankful, the things that make life sweet now, today, this year.
We sing now together our song of thanksgiving, rejoicing in goods which the ages have wrought, for life that enfolds us and helps and heals and holds us, and leads beyond the goals which our forebears once sought. We sing of community now in the making, in every far continent, region, and land, with those of all races, all times, and native places. We pledge ourselves to covenant firmly to stand.
Mystic theologian Meister Eckhart said, "If the only prayer you ever say in your entire life is thank you, it will be enough."
This is Jennifer Ratcliffe. I grew up in Venezuela. Instead of bread, we eat arepas made out of corn. You slice them through the middle and stuff them with savory foods. They're delicious.
I've submitted a photo of the food that brings my family together. Perhaps it will accompany this video. The Bender family's bread communion offering happens to be a kind of bread, albeit one that takes the form of pizza dough. Pizza dough that's personal sized and folded in half with whatever ingredients the end user chooses. As the three of us all grow a bit older and perhaps more set in our individual ways, the calzone endures, whether it's pepperoni, mozzarella, and red sauce only, or veggie only plus multi-cheese, or some combination of the two. The fact that we hit upon this solution to repeated, heartbreaking homemade pizza failures over the years makes the dish all the more appealing and gives me hope that it will continue to draw the three of us together in times that are joyous and otherwise, and everything in between.
I'm Bryce Dunn, and this is my fiance, Mary Kate McAllister, and we made banana bread
Chocolate chip banana bread.
to bring us together.
Yeah. Yes, it's bringing us together. And I got out of a board meeting and I smelled this beautiful thing. I'm like,
delicious.
wow, I couldn't get out of that board meeting fast enough.
Made with love.
Yes, and so we're going to dig into it right now.
Holiday family food traditions are near and dear to my heart. So before I started this, I called my daughter to ask about her favorite memories of our holiday cooking, fully expecting to hear about the paintbrush cookies we would spend hours decorating each year, or her pride when she started taking over all the yeast roll making in junior high, or maybe all those ham and bean suppers that we do in the cold, cold New England winters. But she said, hands down, Grandma's Chex Mix. Now, my mother was no cook, nor was Mark's mother. They were the kind of ladies that would be asked to bring paper goods to the church potluck. But they cheerfully relinquished their aprons when their daughters and daughters-in-laws truly liked cooking and would happily wash all the dishes. Sometime over the years, Grandma Betty discovered Chex Mix and brought a batch to every single holiday gathering. The grandchildren, always wary of anything from Mom's kitchen, would circle around and pick out all the peanuts. And every year she would outdo herself. There was the year she substituted Cheerios for the bran Chex. And then she discovered she could make it in the crock pot. But the most infamous was the year she forgot the Worcestershire sauce, which prompted daughters from college calling her and say, "Don't forget the Worcestershire sauce next year." Even now, when my sister and I start planning any kind of holiday meal, the first thing on the list is who will make the Chex Mix. One year during college, my daughter was invited to her boyfriend's house for the holiday. When I asked her later how it went, she said, boxed potatoes. And then she proceeded to give me the greatest culinary compliment she has ever given me. She said, "At least, Mom, you never served us instant mashed potatoes." Well, that same daughter is now doing all the cooking in her family and enjoying it. So my message to you is no matter how much time you perfect making the little mushrooms on the bûche Noël, how much time you worry over the menu, your holidays memories will somehow, shall we say, be more serendipitous.
Hello, Pops here. For those that don't know, we are avid gardeners. We also like to harvest wild food like blackberries, blueberries, and crab apples. So any meal we prepare using items we've grown or picked locally is very meaningful. Occasionally, we eat an entire meal harvested from our garden. Bon appetit!
Bon appetit!
Nurture our spirit, strive for justice, transform the world. This is our mission. We fulfill this mission with our commitment of time, energy, talent, skills, and resources. Individually and together, we are Unitarian Universalists, building a world filled with peace and justice, love and joy. The offering will now be taken using the Givelify app.
extinguish our chalice, yet may the flame of our community remain lit wherever we are. May it continue to light the way, guiding us safely into the future, giving warmth to our hearts and to our lives.
Go lift it up, love bless your way. Moonlight, starlight, guide your journey into peace and the brightness of day. May your Thanksgiving be sweet.
As we leave this friendly place, love and light to every face. May the kindness which we learn light our hearts till we return.